Now Johns gets up to his shoulder. It'll be Will Johns in the OMAC colours. Bennett versus Ed.
It's Johns on the outside for Melburnians. Nicholas Hunt running a fabulous race, and Batako on.
Will Johns is going to go back to back with the Victorian Championship.
Battle between Matreski and Johns. Johns starting to come back. Could it be back to back? Johns closing stages. Johns will take it on the outside.
But out the front, it's all Will Johns.
Will Johns in 6. Doncaster on the inside. Johns is starting to move forward. He pulls away. Doncaster in 2nd. Mornington Penn 3rd. It'll be back to back for Old Melbourne.
Peter Fitzgerald, thanks for joining us. You're the coach of many Victorian and Australian 100 metre, 200 and 400 metre runners in the past. Current coach of Morgan Mitchell and also Will Johns. Here today for Will Johns is you've had him for 3 years now, and he's won eight Victorian titles over that 3 years. He's obviously made a fair bit of improvement since he's been with you. What's the main thing he's been working on?
Oh, look, I think there's two things. I think firstly, he was a very immature body. He was a real skinny kid. When he came, he was 5'11" and a half and 61 kilos, and we've beefed him up to 64 kilos. But he's 6'1" now and 64 kilos. So there's been a physical maturation. He's got stronger, and I think he's finally started to understand what it actually takes to be an elite athlete, and he's just trained a little bit harder each year. This year's the first time we put in weights, for instance, so he hadn't done any weights until this year, and I think he's got the benefit of that.
And he's on the brink of hitting qualifiers, Australian teams and so forth. What do you think is in store for him this season?
Oh, look, I mean, we unashamedly were aiming to get the qualifier in the 200, because it's actually within his PB range. He's only got to run sub 21 to get the Unis 200 qualifier, and I've always thought he was an outside chance. If he would commit to the 400, I thought he could get the 400 probably just as easily. Now I've sort of dragged him kicking and screaming a little bit throughout the season running the fours, but we sort of were about within a couple of weeks of maybe being a bit frustrated with that. But look, the weekend puts it within the realms of possibility now. I don't think anyone would be surprised if he did run sub 47 now, and once you run sub 47 you're in the game, sort of thing. So I think he's got an opportunity there, and the thing I've always wanted him to run the 4 with was because I think the Bahamas is, they could take 5 to the Bahamas assuming we get there, and that probably of all the teams that might be for the next 2 or 3 years, that's probably the easier one to make, the way the 400 standard is in the country now.
Looking longer term, you've had Will run a number of 400s this season. Do you think he's going to be able to step up, or do you want him to step up? And then looking towards Tokyo, do you think that might be the plan moving forward?
Oh, look, that's always been my wish for him, but I actually said there was no way I was ever going to twist his arm to do it, because you're looking at someone that had the same sort of probably issues with 400s in their career as well, and I couldn't get anyone to convince me that that's where I should have gone. And I just have always thought that long term, whatever he could achieve as a 200 runner, that he was capable of achieving more at 400. But to do that, it's a tough event. You've got to embrace not only the training but then the psychological aspects of the race. That's been, I don't want to hide from that, that's been difficult for Will up till now, and so we'll see how he goes after last weekend. But I think suffices to say that I think I've convinced him that probably it's a better event for him than the 100. I think he's clearly a better 400 runner than he is a 100 runner. Now it's a matter of how do we go over the next couple of years, and is he a better 400 runner than he's going to be at 200?
Thanks for joining us, Fitzy. Good luck for the rest of the season.
No worries. Thanks for having us.
John D, thanks for joining us today for Runners Tribe. What session did you get done?
Just had a bit of sleds, a bit of starts, and then finished off with the trademark sort of 300 at the end that Fitz loves to add on, usually just a bit of conditioning and sort of get race ready.
And what did you finish that cruisy 300 in?
It was 35.1. I think it was a bit too hard. I think Fitz said 37, but I sort of don't really know my pacing too well, so I sort of just felt comfy and did that.
And last weekend you had a pretty good day out on Sunday, winning the 400 metre Victorian open title in a PB of 47.2. How did that all play out for you?
It was a bit of a shock, really. Sort of been running the floor quite a bit, obviously, this season. Just taking it as it comes, just sort of treating it as that training effect. And Fitz as well, just obviously enter it at states. We'll see what happens. And sort of shocked myself. Obviously, coming in at 300, I sort of felt like I had a bit of a sniff and sort of had nothing to lose, and was pretty fortunate enough to get the W.
Hard. Is Johns going to cause a boil over here? He is. Will Johns takes it from Luke Stevens.
Heading into week 2 of the Athletics Victoria State Champs, you're lining up in the 200. Do you think you can notch up your 9th Vic title?
Yeah, I feel real confident. Definitely the 200 is my favourite distance. It's definitely the ideal distance for me. I can't go out of blocks. Struggle sometimes down the straight in the 4, and been a 2-loader all my life, so it's definitely, I definitely believe I'm capable of doing it.
And you've been with Fitzy for 3 years now. Obviously, you've had a fair bit of success. He must be doing good things for you.
Oh, definitely. Fitzy definitely leads from the front. Sort of love to muck around with him a bit, try and make him relaxed. Definitely, the training environment's great, especially with Morgan, the great Rory Plant, Bertie, the Value boys last year and the year before. Well, everyone just leads, and it's sort of successful, it works, and obviously working hard.
And short term, what are your goals?
Probably this season, to make a World Unis team would be nice. The qualifiers 21 flat, PB is 21 or 20.96. So hopefully just run a PB. Lovely at Lakeside this weekend, get the qualifier out of the way, but if not, there's still time. And that's probably the main goal for this season.
And long term, if Fitzy asked you to step up to the 400s full time, what would your answer be?
I don't know, at the moment I'm pretty content with the 2. But obviously, at the moment we do think there could be something happening there, and I'll do whatever Fitz asks. If Fitz tells me, like he has probably a couple of months ago, to stop going out, I'll do it.
That's good to hear, and good luck for the weekend, Will. Hopefully you win the 200 metres.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.